All right, what's going on? How's everybody doing? So let's see. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy few weeks. Had the big drone show last week at AUVSI in Chicago. Went really well. And it seems like my content is getting out there, which is awesome. It seems like people are finding some value in it, which is really great. And I've been wanting to make this video for forever, and I'm literally in the middle of drone builds, but I keep getting this question all the time. So I really want to put this out there. This is just my opinion on my opinion at the moment on this subject matter, and hopefully this may help you out. So it's very simple. How do I get started in the drone business? That's it. I get this question literally all the time, at least a few times a week now in DMs or emails or whatever it may be, comments. So I'm just going to throw this out there. This is just my opinion. Maybe this will provide some value to you. Maybe this will help you out. And it's funny. Most of the people who ask this question, you would think are probably younger, maybe teenagers or something. But it's actually the opposite. I'm getting this question a lot from guys maybe in their 50s, and they're getting ready to retire, and they kind of want a side gig or something like that. I did a video like this a little while ago about how to make money, you know, with your RC hobby, but this one's like really focused and like, how do I get started in the drone business? And I've really narrowed it down to some really simple things that you have to do. I don't think it should be that hard. I might be wrong. So first and foremost, I'd also like to say, is this first and foremost? This could be second most. That in 2019, I'm seeing a huge explosive amount of growth right now in the drone industry. This opportunity was not here a few years ago. It really wasn't. So if you wanted to get in the drone industry years ago, it was much harder to get in then as it is now. Like, just simply, there's more jobs now. There's way more jobs available. Even in the high-end cinema market, for example, they're seeing a lot of the high-end guys are seeing the jobs get lost to guys who are just buying Inspire 2s and going out and charging half the day rate, and they're still getting the shots because the technology is coming down. The technology price is coming down. It's really getting better. More bigger companies with these bigger budgets are now used to using drones as part of their workflow, and they're not as scared to use it as they were years ago. Same with, you could look at like infrastructure inspections or surveying or whatever it might be. These big companies like these gas and oil companies are interested in using drones now for monitoring because they know that they can use these drones safely, and it's got a proven track record. Last one I'll throw out there, for example, is like LiDAR scanning, for example, where a crew going out with tripods and standing on the side of the road doing some scanning, some surveying with survey grade accuracy. It used to take them 5 times longer than it takes now to use a drone. So for all these reasons, drones are exploding in terms of the numbers out there. I think there's so much promise now that if you want to be a drone operator, then there's really good ways for you to get in the industry. I myself was like on the service end for, man, probably 7 to 10 years, mainly with Jordy Klein at XCam Aerials, and we were just on shoots all the time filming with drones. I find myself that I prefer kind of the building and the putting packages together for the custom side. So like when people are drone service providers and they want to go out and do the drone service work, I enjoy providing the equipment to them more. So that's where I found myself, you know, that's kind of my niche, and that's what I really like doing now. So that's what I'm doing. So having said all this, with my years of experience as a drone service provider, here's my recommendations for if you want to be a drone service provider. How do you get involved? How do you get started? So like I said, it's a few things. Number one, go buy a drone and go get incredibly good at flying it. Like, I can't stress that enough. That is 90% of the game right there. If you want to be a professional drone pilot or professional drone operator, you need to become the best pilot that there is, right? Like, no one wants to hire a bad pilot. So first and foremost, go buy a DJI Spark. It uses the same infrastructure as most of the bigger drones out there that you can get. Even if it's another flight controller, it's going to teach you a lot of the basics. It's going to teach you how GPS mode works. It's going to teach you how return to home works and taking photos and taking videos. A Spark is like a few $100 used on eBay, and you can literally get in for a few $100s and just get started with the system. Just learn how drones are working. So that's my biggest thing. So you can do that, and you don't need any certifications. You don't need anything. Just go fly at a non-crowded area. Fly somewhere where you're going to fly safely, and just get really good at flying first and foremost. Second, if you're in the U.S., go get your FAA Part 107 certification. Basically, if you have this certification, you can then fly in exchange for compensation, monetary or otherwise. So there's a ton of videos on there, on YouTube and such, about how to go ahead and get your 107 and study guides and practice tests and tons of content out there. So if you want to be a professional drone service provider, you need the license to do so. So those are the first two steps. Then, where do you go? How do you get jobs? And I think that's the hard part. I myself have signed up for some of these drone service providers where you sign up with them and then they give you jobs. And even me, with my experience, I got 0 jobs. Maybe I went to the wrong ones. Maybe I just, for whatever reason, I just weren't getting the jobs from these third-party companies that say they match the end user to me, like a freelance drone pilot. So how do you get started? How do you get the jobs? Here's my best recommendation. Use all of the tools of social media, the same way in which you are listening to this content right now, to search for professional drone service providers and ask to tag along for free. That's really about the best advice I can give you. So for example, let's say you live in Houston, Texas, right? And you just bought your Spark. And now you want to figure out how you go get some jobs. Okay, well, you could go to Twitter search and search a hashtag drone, and then search nearby, search in your area. And you might find a movie filming company who uses drones to film commercials. Or you might find a bridge inspection company who's inspecting bridges in downtown Houston. Hit them up, email them, and just say, hey, can I tag along for free? I'm interested in learning. I'd love to work with you. I'll charge batteries for free. I'll do whatever you want. And just get your foot in the door. Just hit the ground running and just figure out what they're doing. Maybe eventually you could go work for them, or you learn enough and go start your own thing. So I can't stress that enough. Because you're new, you're not going to be able to provide as much value. You're not going to be able to charge your hundreds or thousands of dollars a day for like a day rate. So, use YouTube search. Like, I'm in Baltimore, so I'd look up Baltimore drone and find local Baltimore drone operators and meet up with them. Just ask if you can tag along on a shoot, ask if you can come help them on prep days, anything like that. If you're like an engineering type person, maybe you can help them with their equipment. If you happen to be a really good pilot, maybe you can become their standby pilot. So that's it. That's really my recommendations. And once you get your foot in the door, once you start going, you're going to figure out what you like and what you don't like. And then based on that, you can kind of tailor it one way or the other. So I've been giving this advice out recently through emails and such, and haven't heard all that much back. I know this is a long process. It's not going to happen overnight, but this is just my biggest recommendation. So get insanely good at flying. Become like literally the best pilot you can. Just have it in the car all the time and fly at least 3 flights a day. That's the only way you're going to get better. It really is. So fly as much as you can. Get legal, so make sure you have your certification, and then just go find somebody who's doing it now, find a service provider, and figure out how you can add value to them. And I think if you can do all those 3 things, then you should be able to find at least a little bit of side income, or find a way that you can incorporate drones as like a part-time hustle, or who knows, it could turn into your full-time job. So once again, I think the market is huge. It's just beginning. It's literally just beginning, and these companies can't get enough drone pilots, whether it's insurance companies or professional movie filmers or whatever it is, package deliveries. There's so much going on in the drone market. So if you want to get started with drones, I highly recommend you follow these steps. And then if this works for you, let me know. Hit me up. Leave a comment or something, or if you disagree, if you have any other piece of advice, then I would love to hear it. So I hope this helps you guys out, and best of luck with it.